Internets, I got some breaking news for you. I'm so goddamn excited. Are you ready for this? WeWork presents the Premium Pete Show live tour. We're touching down in cities like what? Atlanta, Houston, L.A., Toronto, Philadelphia. Man, I'm so excited, man. Sponsored by Jason Mark, Grillo's Pickles, and College of Hip Hop. And here we go. To kick off the tour, the first stop will be in ATL, right during A3C week, October 5th, Thursday night. More details to come. Stay tuned, man. I'm so goddamn excited. Oh, man. Stay tuned. CHEA.
Come on, everybody get set, let's go. It's the next episode. It's the Premium Pete Show. News, interviews, all of the info. Listen up, it's the Premium Pete Show. If you want the scoop in the low, down low, listen to the show, cause Milk said so. Fuck what you heard, better act like you know. It's the Premium Pete Show.
Don't call it a comeback. Listen, internets, welcome back to another episode of the Premium Pete Show. I'm so excited. My guy Dallas Penn is back in the fucking building. I feel like Dallas always just comes by and just checks on a motherfucker and make sure he's let us know how the fuck he's doing. Diabetes is not acting up. His foot's still intact. He's walking around. He's still looking slim. He gained a little bit of titty meat back.
Yeah.
But he's still looking slim. Dallas, listen.
I put a little bread back in my mouth. Yeah. No drinks, though. No drinks. I don't think
that's a pause, Dallas. The bread back in your mouth?
No. Stop being so thirsty for pause.
I'm sorry. Internet's Dallas Penn is back in the fucking
if I said
building.
I put a whole loaf of bread in my whole mouth and open my mouth. Like, if I said some egregious shit, then y'all should certainly pause me. You know, we got my man here.
No, listen.
We got our man here.
Listen, long lost friend, long lost companion.
Never lost. I be seeing him on the IG.
Okay, well, socially, you know.
I'm glad to see him smile right now because I see him on IG a lot and he don't be smiling.
Really?
He be real.
I think he blocked me. I don't even see him.
He be real mean mugged in the face.
He
be real serious. Like, A-King, it's good to see you, fam.
It's good to see y'all, man.
Yeah, good to be seen, right? Good to be seen.
Listen, I'm
Premium Pete Show.
Listen, oh yeah,
seeing you smile and shit.
You know, one thing I do, I'm excited about. But first of all, I want to say that with all the episodes, sitting down with different people, sitting down with Memphis Bleak, sitting down with Steve LaBelle, sitting down with Hawaii Mike. Most recently, just doing it by myself and sitting down. And I really enjoyed them. Great episodes going down the journey. Sometimes you don't get a chance to really chop it up with your fellas. And just,
you working. You busy working
Talk
now.
about what's going on.
You busy working now, man. You in this life, man.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't, listen, Dallas, as you always say, it doesn't stop. But we seen King, I hit Dallas. I was like, yo, I want to do an episode. Just chopping it up about life. Then we see King.
Yeah.
And we're like, yo, listen, King, come upstairs, man.
King,
and chop
sit
it
with
up.
us.
This is
sit
Barbershop
with us,
talk,
brother.
man.
Sit with us.
Yeah.
King, listen, long time no
What's good,
see.
man?
For those
This is the reunion right
to be
here.
here, bro.
Almost.
This ain't the reunion.
We just need Reggie. Yeah, man.
Well, we need more than Reggie. We need Ben
Ben
Hameen.
Hameen.
That's true.
Matt Raz with all his
Nah,
freckles.
Nah, fuck Matt Raz.
Cheat code.
Nah, we could have Matt Raz.
Matt Raz is good, man.
Matt Raz
you know
is
why
good.
I like Matt Raz? Because he is trying so hard to hold on to his receding hairline, like at all costs.
First of all, Matt Raz right now, probably of everybody that we've ever fucked with that was on Combat Jack Show, including Just Blaze.
Hold on.
Matt Raz is hitting the baddest black chicks right now.
Oh, you
Really?
just took the word. I'm about to show you some shit.
Matt Raz is hitting the Matt Raz is hitting badder
Matt.
black chicks than Just Blaze right now.
Really, you think so?
No offense to you, Just.
Matt's third eye.
Well, listen. First of all, I want to get into before the show even started. Okay, we were talking about Atlantic City and how thorough Atlantic City was, and now how Atlantic City is so dead. But more importantly, the people who live in Atlantic City, people don't even understand. The people who live there, that shit is fucking a fucked up situation for years.
I mean, it's been fucked up, but I mean, Atlantic City, Camden. People think that for some reason Jersey isn't hard body.
Trenton,
right? And they don't realize
Newark been hard body.
the poverty that's contained in Jersey. Like Jersey does have Alpine, and they do have
Inglewood,
the Jersey Shore, and they do have some swank regions.
Yeah.
But really, man, when you think about it, it's a working class state overall. Like it's right there with Ohio.
But it has towns that's been neglected, right?
Absolutely.
Is that because of the administration, like Doug what's his name?
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie.
And Doug Christie too. Fuck Doug. No. No, I mean that's going on nationwide, King.
Yeah,
nationwide.
that's true.
You got all kind of places, man, that are just, these dudes are running away with this money.
Well,
These dudes are running away with this money. I mean, most of it is probably getting spent on missiles and shit, but the rest of the money's getting people run away with it.
But DP, if you think about it, wherever, like, we talk about Jersey, and you're right. Some people think, like, even me, like where I live, I see deer in the suburbs. It's green trees, and it's all peace and quiet.
Yeah.
A deer will fuck a motherfucker up.
But that's true. But if you think about it, you drive 5-10 minutes. I'm in Camden from where I'm at. So, but you know what? It's not only about Jersey. It's all over the world.
Yeah.
You don't think that if we go to like Atlanta or Houston or Dallas, people show you a high rises, nice area, and then they'll show you around the corner where it's gully.
Show you the bottom, show you the mud.
Yeah. I feel like it's even 500 degrees of separation, or even shorter than that. Even Staten Island, right? Staten Island is a rich neighborhood called Toad Hill.
Yes.
About 10 blocks down the projects. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you're looking at $10 million homes, and then you're looking at the PJs.
It's funny. I was in Maryland 2 weekends ago, and my cousin was telling me that she just got her doctorate degree, and she was like, in the hospital she works, there's a high turnover of heroin
addicts,
being
opiate addicts,
and from all different ages, especially youth,
young kids too.
And it's an epidemic that's happening that no one's talking about. Is the heroin usage.
No,
so I wonder,
people talking about it.
That's just in Baltimore, Maryland area. What about, like you said, Jersey?
Oh, no question,
Brooklyn,
Staten Island. It's big in Staten Island.
Yeah.
Yo, nationwide.
It's the
first of all, do you see all these dusty motherfuckers now? And they be having signs like,
a lot.
Need a bus ticket to go blah, blah, blah. And you look at them and they look dusty and their hands look swole. And you could tell that they fucking with that horse, or they fucking with some kind of opiate, some pills or some shit like that. We are, man, listen, ever since we went to Afghanistan and we got the whole heroin trade straightened out. That was the deal with going to Afghanistan anyhow. Getting the poppy field straightened out, telling Al Qaeda, all right, listen, here's how this is going to work, because heroin is the raw form of heroin is very important as a raw material to making ephedrine, to making all kinds of opiates.
What'd you say, ephedrine?
I was going to say ephedrine. I can't even pronounce some of these names, but basically opiates that get made into prescription pills.
Right.
The material for that is heroin, is poppy, is opium.
Which is natural based, plant
based, but then it gets synthesized to make all these pills. But they need that raw poppy to make all them drugs, all them prescription drugs. So I mean, boom, we got the whole drug trade straightened out through these wars, and now we just got our whole country fucked up on prescription pills and
pain medication. Because think about it. This is what happens to so many people too. And this is not just New York City. This is all over the world. People get a back injury. People get into a car accident. People get hurt at work.
Yeah.
Okay? They start taking pills, right? Next thing you know, the pills become so expensive. The doctors don't want to give so much. They start doing heroin because heroin is cheaper and it lasts longer. And you think about it, then this is why you're starting to see all these like suicides and people are killing themselves. Them pills are really leading. It's crazy too, because I think the pill game is bigger than the crack game.
Well, of course it is. I mean, until crack becomes something that we've legalized. I mean, we have virtually legalized pills. You have to have a prescription. But if you have a prescription, you could just walk outside across the street to the Duane Reade, hand them that script, and right in the back, they got drawers filled with opiate pills,
sure,
hallucinogenic pills, narcotic pills. So they got the drug game, the legal drug game is nuts. It's bananas.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And I'm mad because they're about to legalize weed. Now, all the people that we've pinched for a nickel bag,
right?
All the kids that that got pinched
for
in the
joint.
Park that was rolling an L or whatever,
Stupid shit.
dumb
Citations.
shit. Yeah, had to go through a system. Now we're gonna make it legal. So these folks had to get their fingers printed and had to get a DAT or whatever, go through bookings if they didn't have an ID on them proper. Now we gonna make that shit legal. That's fucked up.
Let me ask you something. You ever worry about getting a drug test if you had poppy seeds in your system. Do you believe in the poppy seeds? Over the years,
you had to eat too many poppy seeds.
Okay. Do you remember people back in the day worrying about poppy seeds? Showing?
No.
So
Okay.
like the poppy seeds on a bagel.
Yeah,
like?
Yeah. You know how much poppy seeds you have to eat for someone to be like, first of all, to get high.
Yo, I was in parole one time and somebody was like, yo, they came back dirty. They're like, yo, it's the poppy seed bagel I was eating. Parole officer said, nah. Get up against the wall. We can put these cuffs on you.
You fucking a junkie. Get out of here.
Yo, I want to go over this.
I love being in jail. And I don't love being in jail, but I love being in jail and you be in the bullpen getting ready to get seen by the judge. And there's always like a dude in there who's like the fucking attorney. And I'm like, motherfucker, you in jail. How are you giving other people advice? Like, oh, when you go see the judge, here's what you're going to tell him.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, you in jail.
There's always a
You're
confidant.
not a fucking public defender. You on the side with us. The public defender, he's behind some glass
and
away from niggas like you.
Exactly. And listen, internets, don't get no lawyer with a cheap suit. If you got a lawyer with a cheap suit, you know you're going to lose that case. If he got dandruff on his shoulder pads, you know you're going to lose that case.
If you getting a public defender,
you know you're going to lose that case. Okay, what are you saying?
I was going to say, since we talking about drugs, you see the report, whistleblower came out and said that it was 25% of Major League Baseball players use coke. You hear about that story? There's no drug testing.
Yeah,
and it's similar circumstance like cats is, it might be in some form of depression, contract issues, whatever, and they just resort to like
hold
cocaine.
on for a second,
and
King.
I just thought about
only 25%.
My beloved New York Mets back in the day.
Only 25%. To me, that number's low. If you think about it, I mean, 162 games.
Right, that's the next.
All right,
thing, yeah.
181 in your building, 81 traveling. Like, yo, all the bitches you have to fuck, all the dudes you have to fuck, all the wild shit you have to get involved in.
All the money you got to keep managed and make sure
you
don't
got
fucking...
all the shit you got to get involved in. Yeah, everybody in the league should be on fucking cocaine.
No.
so like Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden, right? We know their story.
Yeah.
What's the big deal then? Like, why would they like subjects to scrutiny if this is a common thing?
Well,
like, I'm sure Lenny Dykstra.
Well, just because it's common.
No question.
Nobody said nothing.
Keith Hernandez. That whole team, really.
Alleged.
But the whole team.
But just because it's common doesn't mean that it's the right thing to push. Unfortunately, I think sports players are put on a microscope. People look at them to make sure that they do everything the right way. Right. Even with their money. Think about it. You'll hear people. You'll overhear a conversation of a sports player saying he got $40 million. You could believe it. They'll count your fucking money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they'll count your money, and they'll be very upset if you strike out. Yeah. Think about it. The fans. Man, is there any more dedicated fans in sports? Because you know what? You look at something like Ray Lewis. You look at something like Ray Rice. You look at something like any sports athlete, particularly even football, who had an issue, but then scored the game-winning touchdown. They forgot about that shit. Yeah. Not saying everybody, but a lot of people. If you are facing issues within getting arrested or being subject to something,
then the best thing for you to do is score a touchdown, and dunk a basketball, and hit a home run.
Yeah, and the game winner,
and it should be forgiven.
Think about that shit.
I wish they would give Kaepernick the opportunity.
Well, I wish they would too, because you know what?
They
forgave Ray Rice, but they didn't forgive Kaepernick.
Well, you see, the Baltimore Ravens is trying to. They said they're considering.
Yeah, but he said he didn't want to be bothered.
They did a town hall meeting with some of the fans, general manager, kind of exploring whether or not they should. I'm like, they have a town hall meeting about this, and I'm like,
crowdsourcing a quarterback. When does that happen?
Yeah, so somebody who went to the Super Bowl.
Right. I mean, crowdsourcing a professional quarterback, not somebody like Don Travius, not Don Travius Winters. Like, we're gonna crowdsource.
We love Don Travius,
but he's a bum.
Listen, internet. Don Travius is an imaginary basketball player that Dallas's alias is that thinks he got signed by the Knicks, but he never got signed. It was basically Dallas's mind character when he was high years ago.
Amari Stoudemire took his spot.
Real talk. Let's think about this shit. When you talk about somebody like Kaepernick, who said that he wants to give up, honestly, on the NFL. I think he said that's it. He was done with wanting to be in a league that doesn't respect his rights and what he stood up for. And if you think about it, right?
What he kneeled down for.
And what he kneeled down for. But you know what? What I just said about Ray Rice, I want to put it in a different way. People learn to get over the fact of what Ray Rice did. Okay, not saying everybody, but people learn to like, yo, we should get Ray Rice, not realizing that he fucking japped his fucking wife out, knocked her on the floor, dragged her around. But hold up, but with Kaepernick, DP, they can't forgive that. Mm-hmm. That a guy who literally, when you really think about this shit, and it doesn't matter what color you are listening, a guy who literally said like, yo, I don't like the way my people are being treated, and I'm gonna stand up, but really kneel down, but stand up for them by kneeling down. And people look at it like, this guy committed a murder.
Yeah.
You know what the problem is?
They do. They look at him worse than he committed a murder.
But it's
because Ray Lewis
Well,
watched somebody die.
well, look what I mean.
I don't know if he did it, but
but look what he did to the Giants on that Super Bowl. They forgot about that real quick.
Oh shit.
Who was that on there? Kerry Collins? Man, get him the fuck out of here.
Yo, it's like the NFL stands for
No Fun League?
Nah, not that. It's just it has military overtones, you know.
it certainly does.
So like, you know, with the whole stand flag and, you know, what that represents, like what he did was twofold. It was like, you know, he went against the war, you know, the war like
Well, he went against the fucking wardens. Here's the thing.
But I mean, just think about football in general. Football is a metaphor for war. It's a
break that down, DP. Break that down.
Well, I mean, listen, right? The bomb. One of the great plays is the bomb.
The bomb.
You know, your team's air attack, your team's ground attack, and you have to penetrate the other team's defense. It's a metaphor for these things,
right?
And how you must aggressively overtake someone else's position.
Yeah,
that's the name of the game.
It makes a lot of sense, you know, and it's crazy when you really think about how, you know, how Kaepernick literally, which I think he has a job in politics or just being activist. But when you really think about it, you know, it's crazy to me because it's like the Giants owner, what's his name, Wellington Mara or whatever his name is.
Wellington Mara.
Wellington Mara owner.
He said that he got not one, you know, mail, not two pieces of mail, but so much mail of people saying that like, yo, if you brought this guy here, we wouldn't, you know, come back or, you know, renew our season tickets. But I really think those type of franchises, like the Knicks, the Giants, these New York, you know, the Yankees, they're always going to do well. And I feel like if you get a big organization like that to stand by, look, this guy's not a killer. This guy didn't do as much as you think he did. It's your fear of not understanding what the fuck is going on. You know, keep in mind, right?
Hold on for a second. Donald Trump just had a press conference, and he was like, yo, listen, if you bang a suspect around, give him a rough ride, listen, I ain't going to say nothing. And the congregation of people around him, which was all police, got all hype. It was like, I
seen that. That was like a couple weeks ago.
And then they issued a statement afterwards, like, nah, we don't condone
Right. But again,
damage done.
The essence of this place, and I mean the things that it was built on, and it was built on killing Native Americans and exploiting African labor, and, you know, basically giving privilege to illiterate immigrants that would come here from Eastern Europe,
right?
And they would help manage the land that they were overtaking. So listen, nothing's changed here. Well, nothing to see here. Let's keep it moving.
Nothing to see.
We got King right here, man. Yo, King.
but
King, tell me. Listen, I don't want to talk about football. I want to talk about
no, it's not about football.
King's pimp status.
We do got to go back over King, but one thing I want to say is what other. Okay,
we do got to go back and touch King in the buttock.
No. But,
okay, that's agreed.
What other parts of modern day slavery do you think is alive today?
Everything we do here.
Look at the young girls who were in Connecticut. I want to say. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but they were in Connecticut in high school, and the teachers told them these two young girls they couldn't wear braids.
Oh,
and they got expelled from their. They got suspended from school. They got temporarily kicked off of their athletic team just because they had braids. They said it's not acceptable. Then it was other students, other young black women, with curly hair, natural, same thing. Oh, you got to put your hair in a bun. Well, when does that become an issue versus academics? And they're scholarly black kids.
Yeah.
So in that regard,
I haven't even caught that story yet, but I'm like,
who's to determine how we should wear our hair, bro.
First of all, bro.
And that's and
Let me ask you a
let
question,
me just
King.
add one more piece.
Okay.
You go on the you go any city in this country.
Yeah.
With his minorities, right?
Yeah.
And it's some type of especially with the kids, it's some type of energy where they're embracing their hair, like they growing it out more.
That's what young kids
they're
do.
switching it up, more.
Young kids always did dumb
more
shit
culture,
with their hair.
I want to say without it. Look at LeVar Ball, his kids, right?
Young kids always
So-
that's a function
so
of being young.
So they're
being
like,
able to
oh,
explore
cut
that.
your hair, don't grow a beard.
Well,
Well, let me ask you a question, King. Seriously, all jokes aside,
Yeah.
is there any money that you could put in your pocket with a black face on it that you would value, like the money you put in your pocket with a white face on it? And until then, like I don't even think South Africa has a currency with Nelson Mandela face on it that's valuable. I think they put Nelson Mandela on a penny.
one of
some shit.
the Harriet
They
Tubman
put his ass on a dime or something.
one of the Harriet Tubman $20 bills coming.
Yo,
I don't think
I swear to
that's
God,
happening.
if that Harriet Tubman 20, if she ain't got a perm on it, I don't want that shit. I don't want Harriet Tubman with that Aunt Jemima rap on the shit.
Yo,
For real, I don't want Harriet Tubman. I don't want Harriet Tubman with that mean face either. Because you know Harriet Tubman be having that mean face.
Yeah, I seen that
whenever
meme,
you see
yeah.
it. Now I want Harriet Tubman. I want to see a little smile on her face because she smiled at least one time, bro.
Yo, you know what?
Harriet Tubman smiled when she shot that crack in the face.
Facts.
Hey, listen, you know.
I want that Harriet Tubman on my 20. The smiling Harriet Tubman that just shot a crack in the middle of his face, and she just chilling like whatever.
Listen,
In DC, they have
And she got a perm.
I forgot what building it.
Dallas is
I think it's
crazy.
the
Yeah.
Federal Reserve Building in DC. They have the Harriet Tubman $20 bill, like the forthcoming what it looks
Okay.
like all over the whole.
How? Oh, really?
And I'm like,
Is she slaved out? Is she slaved out?
Same shit.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yo, let me tell you
Yo,
something.
for real, I don't want the slavery Harriet Tubman. I want Harriet Tubman with that Michelle Obama
First of
perm
all,
on.
Harriet Tubman wouldn't want to be on that. We can safely say, we can assume that she wouldn't have want to been on a damn Federal Reserve note.
Nah,
No.
nah.
So you think that's just to like appease, like the Federal Reserve
Appease
trying to
who?
appease?
But who?
No, like
These-
meaning like they're like, yo, we're gonna put a black face on
Yeah.
this bill. So no, do you think that? I'm saying
They're not making me
the
again.
connection it doesn't add up. Like why?
There is no currency on this planet with a black face on it that I want to have in my wallet.
Sure.
All right, and that includes Harriet Tubman without a perm and a smile.
Yeah. Shouts to Elgington. Okay, you know the homie Elgington.
Yes.
He had,
Elgin.com.
Elgin.com. He had put me on this shirt that I saw, and I was like, yo, that's a dope shirt. It says, "Roses are red, Doritos are savory. The U.S. prison system is legalized slavery." And I was like, yo, it was funny because that's something I spoke about so many times. When you think about it, people think just because you get locked up that you have to be. That's another system that is 30 years back.
Yeah.
Like never evolving. Now, I'm not saying it's supposed to be a country club, but when you think about it, I said this before. When I was away for a year and I think it was like a year and a half, and then we do the Rikers time, so say about 2.5 years. I came home, I had about $86, and I worked every day. I think I was getting like 7 cents a day. The Children International, they were getting more money than me. You know what I mean? And I worked outside and I did different trades, and I think you pay your debt to society. But again, I don't want to fully get into this, but the Catholic Church, the prison system, the what do we call the cops? What do you call that? What do you call that?
What, blue wall of
not
of
the blue
fuckery?
wall, but the police.
Police benevolent.
Not even that. I'm not going to even try to pronounce
Police
that.
union. Oh,
The police union.
Prim and P word of the day: Police Benevolent Association.
PBA.
That's the PBA acronym. But no, be honest with you, those you look at things like that. I mean, there's so many more. 30 years back, 40 years back, never evolving. King, when you brought up about establishments getting mad about people's hair, you know why? Because they're stuck in the sense of people should look a certain way.
Right.
So nobody could ever be different.
First of all, if A-King wasn't in music production, he would have to cut his fucking hair.
Yeah, sure.
And he would have to cut all that black skin hair. Music and entertainment, A-King, that's the only thing you can. That's the only place where people will appreciate your
That's
hair,
a fact
bro.
because what I was working in where I was working previously, I had to clean this shit
At the
up.
strip club?
Just because I knew You know what? They're gonna say something.
King, what
People
did you
gonna
do?
say something. People gonna be like, wait a minute.
Culture. What
How can
culture?
you have hair like Frank Sinatra and be dark skinned like what's my man's
Wesley
name?
Snipes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a misnomer.
King,
You
let me
know?
ask you something. So, for instance, you know,
And you don't put no gresh in your hair, nothing. That's all
what'd you say,
natural.
Gresh?
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil, okay.
Argan oil.
Yo, wait, what'd you
Argan
say,
oil.
Gresh?
You like some gresh?
I don't know what that is.
You know, Dallas is crazy. Yo, for those who don't know A-King, okay?
What's up?
First of all, former friend, you know.
Nah. Don't
I'm playing around, bro.
throw him out the window.
No, my former comrade on the Combat Jack show, actually, and I always give you credit for this because it's true. One of the people who said, "Yo, Combat, you should do this thing." So basically, someone who put together the Combat Jack show. We know each other for many years. We've been on a journey together.
You just met A-King like 4 or 5 years ago.
No, what are you talking
Yo,
about?
I got a question. Go ahead. Set it up. I got a
Yo, fix your mic, fucking. Come on. Yeah, what's your question? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Continue.
No, so listen, King has been involved.
Keep rubbing King's balls.
Been involved since the beginning with the show. You're still there. You're one of the long-lasting members. It's funny. I was on the Brilliant Idiots a couple of weeks ago, and they were like, "Yo, Combat just exited everybody off." He said he's by himself. I said, "Nah, he's still got one person left standing, A-King." And they were like, "Is he a host?" I was like, "Yeah, he's doing a thing with him." But I always consider you more of like production,
Yeah.
doing it behind the scenes stuff. But anyway, how's it going, King? Listen, you're
Good.
on the mic now.
Salute.
How's it going, man?
Yo, first and foremost, it's a pleasure and honor to be here.
Of course,
salute to you.
Of course.
It's a little more than 1 year, and you're flourishing out here in the podcast community.
I appreciate you, bro.
I'm here, man. I'm chilling, man. Still pushing with the Combat Jack show.
How's that going for you?
It's good. It's good. Interesting.
How is it? How is it seeing all these changes, though? Because like we went through a lot of changes. When Dallas went on hiatus, and he went to
4 times.
Four, and I think it was 5. No, but how was it seen?
He was Pat Riley before.
Keep in mind, like it was down to me, you, and Combat.
Yeah.
I mean, Jonathan,
came on board.
came on
afterwards.
later on, but Ben Hameen, they sent him off into the fan
hold
bus
on.
spaceship. Okay, go ahead.
I got fired from the Combat Jack show.
When?
I got demoted.
Oh, on the phone that day?
On the phone.
Yo, remember that day?
Internets, they don't know this story.
Yeah, tell the story.
Before I get there, let me just say one thing. It's fun. This whole journey so far has taught me that, at the end of the day, regardless of perception, like the reality of it is, with me, you guys, is that we're grown men with families, and we've had our issues with ourselves. And that's what I saw out of everything. Like, whether it was childbirth, marriage, separation, fatherhood, just daily life stresses. We all share that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the things that people don't see, other than what we allow them to see, when we share it on social media. But there was a human element, a superhuman element that was, when we were all together building this thing. And that's the thing that I appreciate, because it's like, man, you see so much fluff out here, and you don't know, like, motherfucker, do you go through anything? You know what I mean?
Internet's one of my dreams. I never got to do it. One of my dreams was to one day make A-King cry.
We came close.
Back in the premiere days.
But there was so much passion and effort put into this thing. First of all, to get people to even understand what a podcast was. We had to trick people at first.
Yeah,
we had to
shout
trick
out to
them.
Sell Crack the Kids, because I was like, who the fuck is it?
Hey, listen, he told us to get on iTunes
account.
You know, King, for those who are
Shout out
listening that know you or may not know of you, okay? And like I said, we spent many years on the Combat Jack show. There was a bunch of times where you would come out and say, like, you felt there was a problem in the camp. Like, meaning, like, I think you said that you felt we didn't all trust each other, or trust that we would be taken care of. Do you remember that? They used to be
For sure.
When we had the therapist on, I remember you saying that. And it always stuck with me, because you felt like we never really addressed things, or more so like maybe splits, or maybe what would happen. And,
the show
just
got bigger.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first and foremost, what I wanted to ask before was, I always tell this story of how the show came about, and I always go back to how I seen Dallas. I was doing some stuff with the old PNC, and it was like help them build, the brand. And then I would
This is in 2010.
Yeah, so I would see.
No, this is 2008.
No, but
this is
2009-ish, really.
Okay.
And I would see you out and about, and you was doing the internet celebrities thing, and I'm like, yo, I need this dude. Like I would see, you know. And I remember when I think I had wanted to interview, and then we missed each other. But then at that point, I'm like, man, forget the interview. Like, let's create some shit. And I wanted to pitch the idea of doing a show. And then when I met with him, or was going to meet with him, he said, I want to bring this guy named Reggie.
Yeah.
Well, I don't give a fuck Reggie. Who's Reggie?
It was Haitian guy with no shoes.
And then he came through with Reggie, and Reggie was still whatever. And I always, as that idea evolved, you know, to bring on blogger barbecue, whatever. I was like, man, what made Dallas take the back seat?
Well, ask him.
From something that was initially him. Like, what did you see? You in that essence, I'm like, yo, did you know something we didn't know? I mean, that was your man, but
yeah,
we didn't know Reggie as Combat Jack wasn't who he is now. Then
he wasn't. Yeah, exactly.
He was just. To me, I thought he was a sneaker nigga. Like that. You know.
Really? Oh,
I don't
really?
know.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
he just was.
No. I always felt like Reggie, and I certainly never even had any issue with the Combat Jack show, but I always felt like Reggie was the perfect person because he was serious. He could be funny, but he was mostly straight. He was mostly straight, where my angle is usually a bit left. I'm usually, sarcastic. I'm not really trying to be straight. But Reg is trying to be a straight man. He wants to be a legitimate straight man.
Right.
And he can be funny too.
Right.
And I thought to myself, boom, you know what? This will be on some Howard Stern shit. Because it'll be me wilding out. Reggie, you know he's an attorney, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Rafi Cam.
Right.
At the time.
But wait, tell the people, because at first it wasn't going to be the Combat Jack show. It was going to be called The Internets, right?
Well, it was going to be called The Internet Show.
The Internet Show.
Yeah. In my mind, The Internet Show was just a goofy bunch of people like
Rafi Kam.
We got Rafi Kam doing news. We got Reggie, kind of like this straight man trying to find out what's going on with everybody. You know, what direction are people moving in, talking to me, I'm talking some crazy shit. And then we was going to have a chick with us. And the first chick that I thought of was Marvelous Mo.
Shout out to Marvelous Mo, man.
Yes. And cancer survivor. Let me tell you something. I hit her up a couple of weeks ago and just told her that first of all, she's looking beautiful, and I wanted to tell her that, and I told her that I thought of her, and I was like, man, when you think of something, you got to let people know. Yeah. And I was like, yo, I just want to tell you that I'm proud of you. Yep. You're inspiring.
Very.
And I didn't even know this girl. I didn't even know she had cancer.
Yeah.
And she beat it. And lost her hair. And in this day and age, people complain about fucking the MTA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this girl had cancer. I didn't hear her. She went like underground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, shouts to Marvelous.
She went dealt with her. Yeah, but that was looking at her. And we had a test flight, not with Rafi, but with me, Reggie, and Marvelous, and we had SK with us. We tried to do Nah Right Radio.
Yes.
Mm-mm. We tried an episode of that. Yeah. We tried that.
Shout out to Nouveau.
But the deal was, I knew that I really didn't want to be the center person for this thing. I wanted to be on some Howard Stern shit.
But let me ask you, even though you're out there and you're always somebody that is aggressive and definitely somebody who's not afraid to jump out there, meaning the first time I met you, I think we were doing video on 42nd Street in the middle of the street together. And I was like, yo, this fucking car's coming. This guy's going to get me killed. And he's like, internets. So I was like, yo, this guy's fucking nuts. But anyway, the point I'm making is, do you feel like, because I'm like this sometimes, where somebody's like, yo, Pete, you could take this. I'm like, yo, let me bring Dallas.
Right.
Do you feel like you're that person who doesn't want to take the brunt of work? Not meaning that you don't want to work, meaning like you don't want all the shine. Are you afraid of the shine?
No, I'm not afraid of the shine. But I mean, I'm just thinking in my mind, what is this thing gonna be? What's it gonna be? Sometimes I'm thinking too much, but I'm thinking, what is this thing gonna be 10 years from now? And again, like I said, I loved the Howard Stern show, and I always saw myself as like Artie on the Howard Stern show. I never saw myself as
Howard.
Howard.
Yep, I agree.
I saw myself as Artie.
So
and that was, that was kind of the spot I wanted to kind of exist in.
So the Combat Jack show comes about.
Yeah.
Right. And I know at first they were saying Dallas Penn, Combat Jack show featuring Dallas Penn, and then that went away, right? But then, King, you know what's so funny? What was your first thoughts when Dallas brought me on?
Well, I thought I didn't know. Okay, so I'll tell you. I would assume then it's funny. So at that point, I didn't know what was going on in terms of like the show expansion. It was just kind of like you said, the barbershop thing. Like, all right, Pete is coming over, and then Pete now becomes part of the show. He would bring the snacks and
sure.
Shout out to Captain Snacks.
Yeah.
But it was never a formal, Pete is going to be on the show. But I mean, it was just like kind of a free flowing thing. And I think that might have been, looking back at it now, that might have been, as the show started to evolve and we started getting traction, Dallas will always come up with the, damn, what them splits going to look like if there's money involved, at some point. Because that's where you kind of assume this is where it's going to get.
Sure.
Because we're elevating on the internets.
I never really thought about that, though.
So I didn't really pay attention to it that much until he left the first time. Mm-hmm. But then I knew that there were certain things that
we needed to discuss.
His relationships with, other members of the show would probably be withheld from me. Plus I had other obligations to the station at the time. You know what I mean? So I didn't know what other dynamics may have existed that would cause him to leave or whatever. I used to just be like, damn, what the fuck? No explanation. Then he came back.
You talk about Dallas.
Then he left again. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, well, what is the driving factor? But I still never knew, at that point. Then we got back on board and Complex thing happened. That was another turning point.
Sure.
The Complex vehicle was crazy. Unfortunately, Complex didn't know how to work that thing they had.
Right. With us, I believe, because it was still early.
I'm finding so many people now are just finding those Complex videos now on
like,
YouTube.
They think
Well, I'm
they
gonna tell you.
They think this shit is going on right now.
Well, hold up. I'm gonna tell you why. And I had Rich Antonello, the founder of Complex, a couple episodes ago. He didn't. He said one of his mistakes. I asked him, "What was your mistakes of being an entrepreneur and growing this Complex?" And he said he didn't want to be on YouTube. So for so many years, he denied being on YouTube because he was like, "Why should I give them 45% of the revenue?" Which he felt like, that was a mistake. He said he should have put it on. So they didn't put those videos on till later.
And mind
on
you,
YouTube,
they had Jesus and Mero.
Sure.
They had Peter Rosenberg had a show. Clark Kent.
Sure.
They had a whole roster of dope shit.
But now I think they're coming back full circle, creating different type of content. But King, listen, I don't want to get off the. What did you? Not only what you thought of me, but what did you foresee where we took the show? All of us.
I got to tell you something. Let me go back to a little bit. Pete was so fun to have inside that space with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I
can just think of so many instances where Pete was like. He was like the perfect person inside there. I remember when Mr. Esquire brodied Kids in the Hall out the studio.
Classic.
And these guys came, Ken Montgomery, Phil, X-Ray, they came, tried to brody in the studio. People was like, no, y'all hold the fuck up. Y'all hold the fuck up. Y'all not rushing up in here.
Didn't we do that one time where some guy was knocking on the door when we were taping a Combat Jack show?
I'm talking about Esquire.
No, there was another one later on. I think where it may have been. I forgot who it was.
Yeah.
We were taping and.
But it was again,
Esquire. His whole demeanor was, I don't give a fuck who these dudes is. I can't go to Chicago and hold up daytime.
No.
He's like, this is my city.
No. Esquire knew who they was.
Esquire
was being Brody.
He
was being Brooklyn. He was being Esquire.
Extra.
He was being Esquire. And I tell you what, it was, he was perfect.
Yeah.
He was perfect. It was perfect. It was just that vibration inside that PNC space. I will forever owe you for that, A-King, because that was
special
from the Blogger Barbecue, which was that's some shit that
this is how it's gonna go down. don't be mad when I say this, internets. If you're in the digital space then and now, you can't deny the fact that the Bring Your Own Blogger barbecue was the precursor to all of this shit that's going on now. The Paloozas, the fucking trap party, all of that shit extends from that.
But not
Because
only, but not yeah.
that was the first time you had the digital internet community
get together like
together, random, for free.
Yeah. But not only like that, King, it also helped evolve everything else in the sense of our spaceship.
Yeah, of
you
course.
know, before I even get into a couple things I want to ask you.
The Blogger barbecue happened a year
Before the Combat Jack
Before
show.
the Combat Jack show.
even before Not Right Radio. It happened a full calendar year, even before we recorded Not Right Radio, I want to say. Or maybe 11 months. But basically, it happened one summer and then the following summer. Because the work was still going on.
And right
the work was going on weblogs.
Right, exactly.
What did you, King, when I asked you, I said...
Like we talk about weblogs, you talk about Not Right, you talk about Two Dope Boys. Misinfo, of course. Oh man, listen, I don't even want to start naming
DallasPenn.com.
I don't even want to naming weblogs. No, fuck that.
Fuck your blog.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Uncut.
Hold on. Shots of Robbie.
Uncut, but Not Right, Two Dope Boys. Boom.
Easily.
Listen.
Boom.
Legendary and forever classic. But what I want to know from King is this. When I asked you if you foresaw what exactly happened over the years with the Combat Jack show, you said no.
No.
Was there a moment that you even thought that, like, you know, even us as a group were like, oh, this is... Because keep in mind, I want to say this. When Dallas brought me in there, even Dallas himself, even Reggie, even Ben Hameen, even Matt, whatever contributions everybody brought, nobody was no radio people.
Right.
Nobody was said like, yo, we have great voices or great on mic. No, people that was the beautiful thing because, you know. And
first of all, it was how many people in that room?
Shit, it was a sweat box. But go ahead. When did you?
How many people was in that room, King?
8, 9, 10 plus the
it
people.
Was times when
let's count King.
I remember when it was one episode when we had Static Selector and he had Simone and Sage.
They were sitting on the floor.
Sabrina, and they were sitting on the floor eating sushi,
bro,
because they couldn't have no seats.
Well, you know what I want to say to people who listen who have other podcasts these days. Yo, that shit. Like I always use that. You know, those days of the Combat Jack show as blueprint for what I do, and I want to explain to you. We were taping at 12 to 2. 12 at night to 2 in the morning.
Bro.
We wouldn't get out of there at 4, then got to turn around and go work. But more importantly, I lived an hour and a half away, and I would drive everyone home. You know what I mean? Then go. So what I'm saying is we were hard body with that shit. And the point I'm trying to make is, you know, in this day and age, building a podcast, obviously I would always say separate yourself from what everybody else is doing.
Yep.
But more importantly, dedicate yourself to what nobody's doing.
Yeah.
And that is putting your fucking all.
Doing you.
Yo, we put our all. King, off the bat, man. Some of your favorite episodes.
Wait, let me just answer the first. You said, did I see?
Did you foresee? You said no.
He asked like 40 questions.
No.
And made 10 declarations.
That's because you fucking interrupted me and didn't. And King went off track. But
so to answer that question, in the beginning, no. I didn't want to be part of it in the beginning. That's a crazy thing. I was like, I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know.
Well, you was doing mad things.
And I was like, I'm not doing it.
You was running. You
got to run this shit. And I'm like, yo, that shit
He was running a station.
12 to 2 is mad late. And I got to go to Long Island for 6 in the morning.
He was running a station. Like, yo, you gave years off your life.
Yeah, we was really faking it till we had no business plan. Well, we'll talk about that.
But yeah,
I don't think faking. No one was faking it. People was there.
Yeah.
He was present. You did get caught napping, but you still got
happens.
the work done. You got the work done.
It happens. But
you was napping, but you was never sleeping.
Facts.
Dig that.
I like that.
So like, no, in the beginning, to answer your question, no, I didn't see it, but I start seeing it when.
What made you see it?
The reactions of people within the station, they were concerned about what was happening from 12 to 2 in that room. And it was like, well, why are you worried about that shit and you got your own shit? And I started seeing, obviously, the popularity on the social media started to evolve. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay. And then we started getting certain looks, certain guests, rather. And I'm like, okay, so we could aim higher, And this is, at the time we was doing live format. So I used to see the numbers, and they wasn't, live is a little different dynamic, but when you post that shit, for people to listen to on
Sure.
demand.
Sure.
I was like, oh shit, people fuck with this shit.
Yeah.
You know, one
they really fuck with it.
And on demand is still
That's
how,
where we
how
at.
we won.
Sure.
Getting content when
Timing.
you're ready to receive the content.
And we were right on time with that whole
Sure.
where we at now.
Right in front- right in front,
I
yeah.
watch Power when I want to watch Power.
Right.
I might binge watch that shit, just like
Right.
people might binge listen to a premium Pete show.
Or binge watch.
I mean, I'm sure
Or
you
binge
know you
watch.
get it. Like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm on my ride to
Sure.
Ohio, and I'm
Sure.
listening to 5 episodes
Queued
straight.
up, you know.
Simple.
But more importantly, King,
Yeah.
for me, when I really could say that I thought it was going to be something, is when it didn't feel like it was work.
Right.
When it was just fun and organic, and we were just being ourselves. That was one of the, and I'll be honest with you, it was like that camaraderie that
Yo,
we had.
you cannot, you just ruined the word organic.
Listen, you fuck. Just because you started eating organic doesn't mean you can fucking make fun of other people.
Yeah.
And looking back, you know what it was a point, but this is more of a in hindsight. I thought
Go ahead.
about it more. How ill was Chris Morrow? Think about it. Chris Morrow was doing whatever he was doing, but as a fan, he would pop in on the studio.
Yeah.
But kind of how can I finesse these motherfuckers?
Sure.
And knowing that we were under the house of another
Timing
entity, right?
is everything.
Yo.
Timing is everything. Timing is everything. And the truth was, we needed a space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know
we were
what?
getting big. We
We
got
needed-
bigger than
We
this.
needed a spaceship.
Yeah.
And he had more than a space. He had a spaceship and he had a little spaceport.
Right.
There should be a pause on spaceport.
No, you're
No,
being
no
thirsty. King,
No,
listen,
no.
let's get
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
Some of your favorite,
My favorite
Combat Jack Show
episodes.
episodes. If you start naming the ones since I've been gone, I'm going to fucking shut your mic off.
Obviously the Torre joint, that first one.
Really? The white Torre?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, that shit was classic for obvious reasons, because it was unexpected. And
Journalist Torre you're talking about.
Yeah, journalist, MSNBC, NBC, light skin.
Yep.
So when I saw that,
Another thing we got to have a referendum on
What?
is Pete using black speak.
well,
Pete, if you want to continue to use black speak, you're going to have to say the N word.
Get the... Oh,
Steve
remember you
Lobel
tried to
uses
do
the
that years
N-word.
ago? You tried to do that shit years ago. What else, King? Go ahead.
So Torre was one. Mike Edwards.
Edwards, okay.
I didn't know what he was rambling about it. I had to listen to the episode 2 times afterwards.
Sure.
To figure out I didn't know if he was rambling about some other shit or the show, but he was, kind of encouraged, putting the fire.
What's up with Ed Woods?
He's good. I had him on a couple
I
episodes
think he's
ago.
doing reality. He's on reality TV shows.
He's
now.
always making some type of deal.
I seen him on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta
You
by
seen
accident.
him on screen?
Yeah, he was there with Stevie
Oh,
J
yeah.
giving paternity tests.
Yeah.
He was getting a paternity test?
No, Stevie J. He was reading his test.
Oh.
Listen, shouts to Ed Woods. Go ahead. What,
Right.
what other
It
episodes?
was the DJ from Air joint
Okay.
with Just Blaze when we announced that Just
That
Blaze
was-
was going to be
Be part of the show.
part of the show. All of Dame Dash's episodes, both
Yeah.
the Nori episode.
Those are forever classic.
The DJ Envy episode.
Yep, that was cool. Oh, when he spoke about his wife.
Yeah,
that was
dope.
That was classic. Listen, you know what? Shouts,
That was big.
Yeah.
what? When
that
he
was
spoke about his,
big.
yeah.
Sean Price.
Oh, listen,
That was big. That was
The
when
one,
you-
the Sean Price episode
when you say that
he
D-
wasn't on, that he was on.
that DJ Envy episode. And P, man, P was
Yeah.
You know what's
P would say this, and bless his heart, but he would be like, "Yo, if I can't be used, then I'm useless."
Yeah, I remember when he said that. Yeah. It's funny too, because I remember being in the car with him and literally Dallas, I don't know if you remember this, telling you, and it has told me before, to use him. And then hearing those same words. Like, yo, if you can't, be used, then you're useless.
Yeah.
He told, that's one guy that was like, yo, whatever I'm doing, if I could help you, you know what I'm saying? Sean Price, man, gentle giant, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rest in peace.
Gentle giant. But you know what? Let's take a fucking break, man. I feel like
Word.
we're all over the place. Listen, internet. You listen to the Premium Pete Show. Dallas
We
Penn is
here.
in the house. My motherfucking long lost friend, long lost comrade, long lost what do I call you? A shipmate. on the spaceship.
We're gonna talk about what drove Pete to come at me on Twitter.
Okay, we can talk about that. Listen,
Yo,
answer this.
first of all.
No, that was. We're going to a break.
Okay.
Listen, grab yourself a cup of Kool-Aid, grab yourself some Doritos and an L. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh, we need that fire.
Cheer.
Yeah, this your boy Cuban Link, El Marielito Cubanito representando, nigga. You checking out the hottest show in the motherfucking world, Premium Pete. Let's get it.
Internets, and we're back sitting here with my man Dallas Penn, A-King. We're just barbershop talking, reminiscing over the Combat Jack show.
Yeah.
Talking with Dallas Penn, making sure, we'll get into see if he's still staying healthy. But King, before we went to break, you said you wanted to know why I came at you on Twitter. Now, for those who are listening, who may not even know who the fuck A-King is or what I'm talking about, let me paint the picture for them. So I spent, 5-6 years on the Combat Jack show. Me, you, and Combat, one of the last standing members. And, me and Combat parted ways, and many people know that, and things didn't work out. But we did have a lot of great years. And I definitely feel like I gave my heart and soul to that show. When you say why I came at you on Twitter, it's funny because, I think that me and you became real good friends. Mm-hmm. And aside from the show. And, I don't know if I never want to compare myself to Jay-Z or Dame Dash, but you kind of went with Jay. And not that I expected you to come with me, but why I guess I got upset was when me and Combat separated ways, I felt that me and you could still be friends.
Right.
And I don't think you probably could fathom how to separate those two. And I think what you did is you gone distant. Yeah. And this is a kid, I think what Combat doesn't realize is Combat didn't realize how much we were friends. Meaning, when you had your day job, we used to talk every day for years.
That's right.
You were at my mother's house taking fucking doggy bags home. And, hey, listen, that lasagna to go.
I was with people that took doggy bags.
Okay. No, I don't mean that. But listen, you know what I mean. You're at my mother's
Premium
house.
Pete do be having invoices, don't he?
Yes.
Yo, he know how much Merlot you took.
Yo, Dallas, if you're at somebody's house and their mother's cooking for you. But wait, hold up, Dallas.
Meanwhile,
cubic
they say
yards
take
of
whatever you want,
Reynolds
right?
wrap?
Yo, Dallas, if you're at someone's house and their mother's cooking for you, use it close, no?
I mean, is she cooking for me or is she cooking because she cooks?
Well, mom is always cooking. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, and this is something when Combat comes out, we'll talk and hash out some things. Yeah. But I never hated you. I never really meant anything.
Right.
I guess I could say like mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I did take shots at you because I felt that that was the only way you would listen. You're a social media guy, and I know you respect me. So, when I start throwing out tweets like, oh, shit, this motherfucker, like, now everyone's looking at it. Because I would call you and you would never answer. And I remember telling Jonathan Mender, like, yo, what the fuck? What's the matter with King? He's like, yo, he didn't call you yet? I told him to call you. And this went on for a long time. So I was like, now, and I think I left you voicemail. I was like, yo, King, what's up? It's Pete, man. Hope all's well. Hope the kids are okay.
What's a long time?
I mean, it was months. Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it months? It was like 4 or 5 months.
So
a whole quarter?
So what happened? Well, all right. Let's go back a little
quarter
bit.
Of a year?
During that time when Combat
and me were going
made
through
the
our shit
decision to change the show up, it was weird because we would talk and, at that point you just got to understand the perspective. You know what I mean? So I knew there was conversations they were having. I think that you guys met up a few times.
Yep.
Had some beers or whatever, talk. And I was always hopeful that however it's going to go, that there's a positive outlook. So when he decided to completely just go a different direction, I was like, fuck, okay. Pete was hot. Like, you know what I mean? He was, he was hot. And it got overwhelming for me being in the middle of that shit. It's like, all right, my non-sleep part of the day, I'm hearing all of these different voices. And it's like, man, I just had to it was time when I didn't say nothing to Combat about it. Like, I don't want to hear about it. Not nothing. I mean, I just told him, yo, I don't want to hear about it, but I just never engaged in the conversation about it.
Right. But you
still had a job to do.
And in the same time, we had a show to do, and I always had in the back of my mind how perception. You know what I'm saying? I was very aware of how Pete thinks. Obviously, being in the booth with him for a long time and just building and being a friend, I know how he thinks. I'm already feeling that shit. And then when the tweets happen, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Well, you know what's funny? The week after, I'll never forget. The week after me and Combat decided to move on. Right. I'll never forget this, DP. I got a newsletter from the Combat Jack show, and I look on the bottom, and it said A-King, and the bottom said Combat Jack show co-host. And I was like, oh, shit, he changed his title already? And that was a wide awakening,
It
part
said co-host or it said
co-host.
It said and producers
it said co-host,
and Jonathan Mena.
But my name, it said co-host.
Okay.
But my name was also taken off that, and that was like a week later. But anyway, this is not like, I'm not coming at you.
No, I know. I'm just telling you how weird it was.
We have never spoke on air about our differences. And my differences was never
Have y'all
malicious.
spoken in person?
Yeah, we spoke in person. We spoke on the phone. And you know what? And this is something that I probably should have gotten over a while ago. And I am now, but I'm saying because King has apologized to me and admitted that he didn't handle things the greatest way. Not because he meant it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but just because he didn't know what the fuck to do.
Well, to be quite honest, that's why I would pull up.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it might have seemed like some kind of like, oh, shit, like I was maybe trying to start trouble, but that wasn't. It was more so like, all right, not like regardless of what is Pete. Like anybody that you let me come and pause.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, say that over again.
Preemptive pause. He didn't even finish.
I'm not gonna finish. I'm gonna reword it. I walked in your parents' house.
Sure.
I met your family. You met my mom. You know what I mean? When you do shit like that, it's bigger than a podcast in my mind. Sure. So I'm like, nah, I'm not accepting this energy. Sure. And it's fitting that we're here now because it wasn't like, it wasn't planned. It was like the show was never planned. You know what I mean? It's kind of spontaneous, right?
Sure. Everything
so in the
was done.
same vein. So yeah, it was a weird time, man.
Yeah.
That shit was weird. Just then everybody you watching all the speculations and you can't say nothing. You just like, all right, yeah, they had an issue or they had differences.
When me and Combat sit down, and that will happen soon. But when me and Combat sit down, this is a question I have for him too. When you made those transitions, for me it was hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm not afraid. As a man, we shouldn't try to be such a tough guy. It was hard to get over not seeing you guys every week,
right? Not
being in the booth every week. We did that shit so many years, and week in and week out, and it was definitely a change, you know. And it's funny too because I always felt that, it was a tough change, man. I never wanted to change, but now that I look at it, I'm like, damn, man, I wouldn't want to trade this for nothing because I was able to flourish and do my own thing
and get counseling and
be
counseled
at the same time.
And be counseled.
What do you mean?
Be counseled led to the flourishment, led to the whole thing. You're a beautiful dude, Premium Pete. What is one of your favorite episodes of the Combat Jack?
I mean, there's so many, but to be honest with you, the therapy episodes that we had before anyone was introduced to Dr. Mario Pettiford, we had episode with Dr. Mario Pettiford, me, Dallas Penn, and Combat Jack. A-King was in there. Just Blaze was there. It was amazing. I felt it was the one time in podcasting that three men, particularly in Combat, Dallas, and me, were honest. Very honest.
And there was a lot going on back then, too.
Very honest with a therapist and opening up about issues that we have had in our life. And that's something in our culture that nobody talks about. People, it's funny. When I had Hawaii Mike on a couple episodes ago, he was talking about anxiety and depression. And he was talking about how men, I may call, not Dallas, because Dallas sometimes is a person that would help me. But some men, we may talk, and we'll never get to that point. Like, you good? Are you really okay? Because sometimes you could just move through things. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of turn around and be like, yo, how you feeling? And you're like, nah, I'm good. And not even check that person to see how they're really doing.
Right.
We never really know what someone's going through. Think about that shit. We never really know what someone's going through. People do a good job of hiding that shit. I mean, do you think this guy from Lincoln Park, you know, that you think, you know,
Chester.
Yeah. I mean, you think people knew what he was going through? I mean, he has expressed,
but
you never know what someone's going through, bro.
Right.
Yeah,
you look at Dallas Penn, you may say like, "Yo, everything's good, man. He's wearing polo, he's eating, he's staying healthy, he's living his life with his wife. Everything's good," not knowing that he could be going through some very, very dark moments in his life.
Just keep that phone off of the subway.
And you know what? The reason why I know, right? The reason why I did miss you guys too, and I'll tell you that. You know
Facts.
why? That shit was like
Super
when you get
facts.
older, bro, you don't have a camaraderie like that with many people.
Right.
Meaning like that was like our getaway. That was like our fucking guys' night out once a week.
Yeah.
That shit was amazing.
Yeah,
and when you think about what we created, and that's something that I think I always held against Combat is that he didn't exit me correctly.
Right.
And I felt that I didn't get no closure on that.
Could somebody please?
Pause.
Thank you.
Okay. No, he didn't. And King.
Respectful.
I missed that one.
Let me ask you something. Were you surprised about how many people were on it? Pause. Of like, yo, what the fuck happened? Or where is he? Were you surprised?
It's the same thing. Those people.
But were you surprised? Because
I was
I'm sure
surprised at the consistency, but wasn't surprised at the outcry. It's the same way you talked about the camaraderie, the fans. I'm sorry, the supporters. They were part of that.
Sure.
You know, they grew into something that they didn't have any idea about, and to see a favorite show change many different times, you know, in the terms of adding members, you never think about, you know, the
change.
reduction.
Sure,
of
you
members.
never think about change.
So like, if Just Blaze say, "Yo, I can't be on the show no more because I'm touring in the moon and shit like that," it's like, all right, yeah, we accept that. We'll see you next year. Fine. But then you expect the other elements to be there, right? So when that was happening, I think people were just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like, what, really? What? All right, cool. Dallas is no longer on the show. Ben Amin got fan bros. Matt is
gone.
You know, interracial relationships now.
They moved him up to us, you know, senior vice president.
So it was like, all right, cool. Pete, all right, no more changes, right? And then
there goes Pete.
And it's like, I totally get it. You know, and that's why I think people were looking for the negative so much. Cause like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? And got a lot of that. And I think that was probably where, you know, you had to say whatever, you know, speak about it, Combat spoke about it, you know, but it was still, I don't think it was enough from any person that's been an avid
The
listener.
problem was that we never spoke about it. That was the problem. We both spoke about it, but we never spoke about it together.
Right.
You know, one thing I do want to, and I always give credit to Dallas Penn if it's there. If he's being a douchebag, I got to tell him. You know, one thing I do, I definitely want to let you know that when me and you went through that shit, as far as like the separation, I remember Dallas telling me like, "Yo, King is just in the middle, man. Stuck in the middle," and I don't think I had a heartfelt for that you were stuck in the middle.
Shouts to all the kids who have been through a divorce in a family and be somewhere in the middle, you know, and not knowing where to go, just wanting to be you. Be you. Don't worry about it. Let people be them, you be you.
Well, listen, King, I will say change.
Let King be King.
Sure, change is good, and look what it has done.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want to be, I've said it to you before, but if you felt that I offended you or you were hurt by the changes that we went through, because some of them were brash and
sudden.
And I never lost my love for you as a friend, as a comrade.
Likewise.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to make him cry, bro.
That's not good. No, I'm not crying. I had some weed.
Did we ever resolve the paper tags issue?
Who?
Paper tags. There was some paper tags.
About?
Some temp tags on the back of a whip.
Yo.
Listen, I'm not trying.
Listen,
my car. Yeah, but that was...
Did they ever get a metal tag?
Of course.
Well, listen, King. As we wind this episode down, okay?
Yeah.
You, I feel like you're underrated, King, and I mean that. And I'm not gonna say as I don't listen to the Combat Jack Show enough to know about, co-hosting. I know it's very hard to get, in with Reggie as far as like, because he leads the ship. But I know definitely that your input is valid and appreciated. More so, I think you're very underrated as an executive of this movement. Mm-hmm. Somebody that's been there and believed and may not believe, but learned and had lessoned. There's things you probably didn't believe in that you were got to see and learn a lesson from, and there's things that you believed in that you got to learn a blessing from.
Right.
And, it was fun moving with you and your loyalty. One thing about you is...
Premium Pete. Chill with the black speak. Chill with the black speak.
Listen, you fuck. What the hell are you talking about? No,
Chill
really.
with the black speak.
One thing about you is you're very loyal.
Yeah.
And I was the same way and still consider myself the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, but in that situation, I feel like you're very loyal. What do you want out of like the Combat Jack show? What do you want out of the platform?
I think to speak to what you just said about being underrated, that was partly my fault early on, not knowing my value and trying to still figure out my weirdly enough my role, so to speak. As I started to see and hear and
super producer.
And see the perception of others.
You came out as super producer.
As far as like opportunity.
What was next?
Outside of opportunity and shit. That's when I'm like, wait a second. Nah, let's reel this back in a little bit. So that's what that's what I've done.
No, I know, but you know what it is too?
What's next is, I can't say it's some dope shit, but I don't want to give it away yet, but there's other shit happening. You know what I mean?
Well, not only with loudspeakers, because there's always got
outside
to
of that.
What's happening with you?
Yeah.
Is there some things that people could look forward to besides your involvement with the Combat Jack show and things you're doing with the network?
Yeah.
Because I feel like and I've always told you this, and what's so crazy, and I think that you haven't gave me enough respect for that. How I argue with you about how I want you to do you.
Facts.
And
you've been
for years.
Yeah.
And no shots to Combat. Love to Combat.
Yeah.
But you're the kind of person that will put so much flowers in someone else's garden and not even water your own. I'm that way. So that's why I've always been hard on you, because I want to see you springboard.
Please.
What are you going to say now,
That's not a
Dallas?
pause.
You've been hard on him?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
what is going on?
Listen,
Yo,
do y'all two need to hug?
No.
We're forgetting our pause rights.
So I want you to, and because people listening too, sometimes people get involved in something and they go so hard body for it. And I'm not saying not to go hard body for Combat Jack show.
Yeah.
But they forget about themselves. This happens. And I feel like I want to see more from you. I want to support more from you.
Right.
And I think that you're capable, have an ear, and I want to tell you one thing, because I've been around you for so many years, so I want to tell you that even though you think you've done some things, I want you to go into a new situation with the same energy you had from the day I met you. Because you can do it. I know you can.
Thank you.
Okay? No, I mean that.
I appreciate that,
mean that.
Wholeheartedly.
Okay, listen, you fuck. Okay, listen. As we wind this fucking episode down, Dallas, listen, you staying healthy? And whenever you smoke fucking weed when you come on here, you look like a blind man.
Nah, I am blind, though.
How's glaucoma? How's everything going for internets that know about the diabetes and your foot? How's everything going with that? You staying healthy?
It does not stop. Staying healthy, staying on it, realkalinizing. Very, I could get generic. I could get organic.
You eating lemons and shit?
Right. Getting extra generic with the greens juices. Stay away from the green apples. Green apples too much sweet, too much sugar.
You ain't trying to CrossFit it?
I mean that. Nah. Not yet.
Yeah.
I'm getting the fits together though, because you got a style on it. But just getting a walking on, coming out of the subway, getting a little 2-block, 3-block walk, watching how the college kids step. Got to keep stepping.
Let me ask you. I mean, we spoke about this countless times, but for people listening now, being a diabetic, I mean, is that something? I'm not a diabetic, so is that something that it takes a lot of work? Do you feel like overworked? Like here, like I already have a day job now. I'm diabetic. Do you feel like that, or it's more simpler?
Yeah, you go through that. You go up and down. I mean, it's everything is related to your diet. So if you can be disciplined enough to keep your diet straight, to keep your diet free of the things that don't promote disease, promote rot. The thing is to keep your body alive, and not to, have your body being, attacked and fighting other things. Give your body the energy. So, yeah, how can you keep it on your diet? Can you keep focused with it? If you can, you're good.
Yeah.
If not, you better watch out.
Now,
get to drinking, get out of here.
Now, let me ask you something. Okay, DP? I want you to give... just push this mic closer. Come on, man. Nobody understands sign language. There we go. Yo, people... Internet...
Yeah, that was a struggle moment.
Internet
Everyone's like doing football sign. Like,
Internet, let me tell you something, man. Sometimes the podcast, when you just listen to, you don't realize how much fucking work goes into this shit.
Fuckery, yo.
But anyway, DP, I want you to give the Internet who are listening your juice of the, what they should go with. If they go to the juice, what should they order?
All right. Everyone knows kale. Kale is the superfood. All right.
Facts.
Extra green, crazy green, good for your whole gutula. Spinach. Popeye. How long was Popeye the shit? You watch that movie with Popeye. Robin Williams. Popeye. All right. Then cucumber.
Okay.
Nah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Celery, if you can stand it. Celery is great. Clean you, but makes me sick a little bit. So watch the celery. Ginger. Got to get ginger in there.
Turmeric.
Yeah, nah, don't be having all that though.
No,
Can't do no beat neither.
No, you can sprinkle turmeric on whatever you cooking.
Oh shit, I got to bring some turmeric with me.
Yeah, it's good for inflammation.
Inflammation killer. Good.
Yeah.
Need that.
And it don't have a taste. It's just like, all right.
Need that. Need all of that. So yeah, I mean that's what it is.
There you go. Listen, when you go to your local juice bar, tell them Dallas Penn sent you. King, on social media, what is it? It's _A-King?
Yeah, on Twitter, and it's A-King on IG.
Listen, I want you right now, okay, to on Twitter or Instagram at Premium Pete Show, Dallas Penn, and it's _A-King, and say, fuck you.
Yo,
but I fuck with you.
Say that. Yes.
No, that's what I want you to say. And tell A-King, listen, fuck you, A-King.
Nah,
you got
when back when we first remember when we first started the show.
Yeah, we started. That's when I knew the combat section was getting big.
Because cats would see me at SOBs or whatever. Like, shut the fuck up, A-King. I was like, oh, yo. I'm like, you ain't gonna be doing that out there. That's not acceptable. I was like, yo, y'all gotta stop.
We used to tell people
they would do it.
To tell you to shut the fuck up on whenever they seen you.
That shit was like. I used to be sensitive to that shit.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, yo?
Let me ask you, do you feel
people telling me shut the fuck up? But
and
that's not understanding the dynamic
and you was out there too,
of what you created with the internet.
Listen,
it's community talk.
It's all love, A-King. Let me ask you something. With podcasts.
I'm sorry.
Yo, I know that was funny that happened.
Niggas would see me, shut the fuck up. I'm like, oh.
But listen, King, with podcasts, being that there's so many out now, okay?
Yeah.
Do you think it's dry?
No.
Okay.
I think I used to get like damn man, there's so many podcasts. But what I continue to tell people, yo, you gotta do some niche shit, some niche, like relatable content.
Sure.
You can't just do a podcast on pop culture. What are you going to contribute to that conversation that TMZ, Shade Room, Ball Alert, Academics, Joe Biden, all these other people that are at the top status? What are you going to contribute to that? They already got it covered.
No, you're right.
So you got to talk about things, and when people listen to it, they're like, "Oh shit, damn! I could fix my credit in 6 months myself without hiring somebody." I learned that through a finance podcast.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
It could be,
entrepreneurship,
how to receive grants after having being in jail, being a felon. Right? Those are things you learn from relatable content.
Sure.
And I think that space still needs to be a little bit more tapped into. So people want to continue to do the shit that everybody else is doing. No one, as a subscriber, you're not listening to that.
Sure.
You're just doing it to serve your ego.
Sure.
You know
No, I agree.
In
That's
my opinion.
I say that all the time. That's why a lot of episodes that I do, I say it's not for me.
Right.
I don't want people only to listen to the Premium P Show. I want you to get something out of it.
It's the story.
You know what I mean? I want you to I want you to be inspired. That's why when I did that Father's Day episode, I wanted people to be inspired. Rest in peace, Prodigy.
Man.
But I wanted people to hear other folks talk about fatherhood,
right.
the struggles that they go through. You know what I mean? And
I
think,
don't want to darken the mood, but what was your reaction, man, when you dropped the episode, and then what, a week, 2 weeks later, Pete passed away?
Not even the 6 days.
6 days.
Yeah.
Like, when you woke up that morning?
It's funny. Hanif actually texted me. Sometimes people see Twitter. Nas put that out. And then I had text, my friend Roberta, who's his publicist, and his his manager Marvis, kind of like, yo, is this even true? And
damn,
it's crazy, man, because it's like I just feel like we're always a phone call away, or a text away, or a tweet away from something tragic happening.
Yeah, always.
And I think keep in mind, we live in a world today where if something's trending, we worry and like, yo, is everything okay?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I know this is weird, and this is why I made jokes of this over the years, and Dallas knows this, where I'm like, yo, you better have a good picture for me of me and you. And you better have a good caption on that shit, because I feel like that's what this world has come to. Like, you haven't prepared for me to pass away, but I'm sure you have a picture of me and you up there, and you're going to write this big story. But what I'm saying is that's how people are passed away socially. And then all of a sudden, people just move on.
Yeah.
It's like, think about it, like Prodigy, like just such a ill dude. But I'll be honest with you, nobody appreciated him as much as they do when he's been gone.
Yeah.
I never, I never seen that much love for him, and that's because people won't appreciate people until they're gone.
Right, ego, man.
Yeah.
Ego, pride.
You think about that funeral. I tell you, growing up in Brooklyn, man, people used to say, "You are by what your funeral looks like." You got triple park cars, you were somebody. Think about that shit. And it's just sad, man. We don't prepare for people to pass away, and we don't prepare for news to come out. You don't know what's going on. I could have someone in my family pass away. Next thing you know, you see I throw up a post, and I'm mourning.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess we just, one thing I always say this, and this is something I spoke about on the episode. We don't prepare for death.
No.
We don't prepare for death financially. Sometimes we don't prepare for death, mentally. And I don't think there is a way to prepare mentally.
I don't think so either.
But financially, I think there's something we should do. But listen, King, man, I was glad. It's funny because we didn't even plan this. I said we're doing a barbershop episode, me and Dallas. I seen you in the hallway.
Yeah.
Perfect to come on. Like I said, I'm proud of you. Did you say pause? You
that
fuck.
was a pause.
Listen,
Perfect.
I stopped doing a lot of the pause though.
Yo, that's come on, man, legit. Man.
I stopped doing a lot
good
of pause.
To see you, King. Good
but
to
it
see
is
you.
good. It is good to see you.
Likewise.
And I know deep down that things didn't work out maybe the way we wanted them to, but I know that you're proud from a distance, and so am I.
Sure.
So
Salute to you guys, man. Thanks for having me on.
Listen, fuck you,
Gotta do this more often.
Pause, man. Pause.
Internets, I want you to check for A-King.
Yo.
Okay, I want you to check for Dallas Penn. And you know what I want you to do? I want you to, if you have somebody like a family member or a friend that you're proud of, that you love, that you care about, text them, tweet them, Facebook them, whatever the fuck you do. And just tell them that. Tell them that. Internets, listen. And also for the Spanish speaking,
Los Internetos.
See you next episode.
I need some Ewings.
CHEA. Internets, if you enjoyed that episode, I want you to reach out to me. Email me. Tweet me, okay? Email thepremiumpeteshow@gmail.com. At Twitter, @PremiumPete, @PremiumPete on Instagram, @PremiumPete also. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you didn't like. And also, to all my small businesses or big businesses, no matter how small or big you are, you want to advertise with The Premium Pete Show? Get at me. thepremiumpeteshow@gmail.com, and we'll figure something out, okay? Now make sure you subscribe, rate, and tell a friend to tell a friend. And I'll see you next episode. CHEA.